Hello, YouTube. This is Phil again, and the 40-year-old apprentice is still going at it, still going strong. And I wanted to do kind of a oops video, like what I got wrong, what I thought I knew. Kind of going through the motions of working for the first 500 hours. I'm closing on 1,000 hours now. Of my first year, and I wanted to kind of correct some things. I think in my last video I talked about how the caulking part of the PCC Mason world was just maybe not as physically strenuous. It's definitely physically strenuous. I think I had a stir of easier jobs, and I think I got that wrong. The thing about it's strenuous in a very different way. Like as an example, the last time I was on a job, I should say one of the more strenuous times I was on a job was at the New Bill Stadium, and we were working up high, really high. But we couldn't work in an area where a JLG lift or a scissor lift would get us there, so we had to use ladders. Now, some of the OG guys will probably pipe in and say, oh, that's nothing, but like a 40-foot ladder in a very tight crevice, up and down, up and down, up and down, or if you want to try and take all your material up, so like if you run out of caulking in your gun, which we call sausages, if your sausage runs out and you're at the top of that ladder, you don't really want to have to go up and down that ladder, every time you got to change the sausage, so you got to bring it with you, and you gotta kind of dangle up high, which we're not supposed to do, but there's not really a choice. They just say no ladders on site, but there's no other options. So it's, that was pretty tough. I did that for more than 1 week straight, just up and down these ladders, where you have to go up, put the rod in, then you go up, put the caulking in, and you slick it down. And sometimes the joint is an inch, or sometimes the joint is like a centimeter, sometimes the joint is 3 inches, and what do you do there? Well, you're up high, kind of twisting back a rod into a pretzel so it'll fit, so that you can get some caulking on top of it. I mean, there's a lot to know how to handle things. Sometimes you're putting wool in the joint, which, dear God, the wool you use is so itchy. It gets all over you, and it's miserable. But that, just as an example, that hadn't happened to me yet. And then on top of that, the worst day so far this year was we had to go remedy a prior, it wasn't blue skin, it was a different kind of mastic kind of peel and stick, but we went out to remedy a balcony at a golf course where they used a peel and stick material on the ground. Well, that was put there in March, and since then a bunch of guys were walking on it, tearing it up, and they wanted it redone. Well, first they told us, you just got to cut out the wrinkles, fill them in with mastic, and then put the top layer down. Well, I, being the least talented person on the site, kind of looked at that and said, well, when I'm cutting holes in this, it looks like there's water underneath, and when I pull on it a little bit, it looks like it all wants to come up. And I told them that, and then they made phone calls, and they're like, yeah, this whole thing looks like it's failed. Well, I kind of wish I'm glad I said something, because we needed to take it up anyway, but we had to peel probably a couple thousand square feet of material up off the floor, and that doesn't necessarily fully want to come up, but also it wasn't fully stuck down, so we had to do that, and then we had to put it all back down because it needed to be done in one day, and it was the hottest day in Buffalo, New York that we had all year, and I went through so much water, my kneecaps were sweating. I mean, it was so tough, and I take it back. I got it wrong. I thought that, that waterproofing side, the caulking side was, physically easier, just more finesse. Well, they're both sides have pretty much equal amounts of finesse, and they're both pretty damn hard. But I will say it's not hard, so hard it's not doable. It's doable. Like I say, I started this job nearly 300 pounds. I'm down to about 270s now, low 270s, and I'm losing weight and feeling good. A lot more athletic than I used to be for as big as I am. But definitely, there's not like, oh, let me avoid the masonry side of like patching and restoration so I can go have it easier on the waterproofing side. That's not, that to me so far is not a thing, right? Like, it's not. I think the easiest thing I've done, or I should say the thing I enjoy doing the most, is applying blue skin, basically peel and stick. Doing waterproofing externally. There's definitely some of that's easier than others. The roll-on, I hate. I can't stand it. Not because it's particularly difficult, but it is annoying as hell. That stuff gets everywhere and it won't come off. You ruin clothes like nobody's business. And unless you're extremely careful, which I have really tried. I have really tried not to get that stuff on me, but it ends up on you. A couple things you can do about that, though, a way to kind of erase some oopses, is to get a product called Scrubs in a Bucket, or Grime Boss. I really like Grime Boss for wipes. Does go pretty far. Not just for your skin, but like you can, if you got some on your pants, you want to get one of those too, or some sort of wipe with an abrasive side to it, because not only will it save your washer and dryer, but it'll save you from having to buy a whole new set of clothes when you're already kind of on a tight budget your first year. And what else? What else did I get wrong? I think financially, I got some things wrong. The rate of pay is fine, but I thought I was going to be a lot more comfortable than I am. Just the nature of the economy, the way it is. Like, I was fine in March, April, May, June, even. Now July, August, now into September. Inflation is, man, that train does not stop. The cost, the expense. I really had to look at my costs and expenses. I was making a lot more doing what I was doing previously, but of course, when you start a trade, you start fresh. You don't start, making the most money right away. So, your wife got a raise, and hopefully she'll get another one here at the beginning of the year, as well as me, as long as I continue to get my hours. I need $1,250. I'm just about at 1,000. 3-4 months to go. I'll definitely hit it. But it's interesting. It's interesting. I've definitely considered, not because my physical body's like not able to handle it, but like mentally, from a financial perspective, I could easily go make 25, 30,000 more a year. But I'm trying to not lead into that temptation, because that job is a dead-end job. That's about as much as I can make. The ceiling there is very apparent, and my ceiling here is a lot more wide open. I can make more than I was making there if I just wait, unfortunately, like 3, 4, 5 years. Maybe a little less, but I gotta find a way, I have a very supportive family who's, all about me doing this. See I'm happy, or they see that the benefits of me doing this from a mental and physical perspective are just exactly what I need to do. But I would definitely encourage anybody who's going after this, if you're going to take a pay cut to go try and do this, try and have some of your affairs in order beforehand in terms of preparation. I thought I did a really good job preparing, but over prepare for whatever you think. So like what I'm trying to say is, let's say in my situation, in order to make this work, I needed to cut out my truck. I needed to drive around a little Hyundai POS, I needed to cut out eating out expenses and a few other things, and that was enough for about 5 months, 4 months, 5 months, until inflation caught up, and then I need to cut back a little more, and And then obviously the holidays are coming up. It got me sweating, shaking at the knees. Like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do this? 2 years from now, probably won't be an issue because I'll have better rate of pay. I might have potential side work going. I don't know, but you'll have ways of floating things better than more tools, resources, networking, skills under your belt to where you'll be able to float things. So, I had no regrets at all for trying to get this done, but there's definitely things to consider, things to think about if you're going to make that attempt. I will say, fingers crossed, I have not had any major injuries while I've kind of floated this first year without major medical insurance. It was a personal choice. There was insurance available. I just kind of, from a financial perspective, didn't opt into it because I thought, you know what, let me just roll the dice on this. I want my family to be more comfortable, so I'm going to be on my wife's insurance here in the next few months. So hopefully that continues to not be a problem, but it would have been one of the things I just wanted to add it to the list, because if something did happen, which could happen to any of you if you do try and do this, would be a regret if something did happen and you didn't have insurance. So but anyway, that's all. Just wanted to drop a quick video, say I love you all. Hope you are chasing your dreams. Stay built strong, and let me know what you think. Have a blessed day.